I got to move on to Jesus.
Please.
So you
My favorite
believe
subject.
in Jesus?
Sure.
And who is Jesus to you?
Jesus is, well, there are many different Jesuses. You can believe Jesus is the literal Son of God.
No, I'm talking about how who is he to you personally?
Oh, I see. I will say that he is my teacher, he is my brother, he is my hero. He is my inspiration, he is my guiding light, he is the embodiment of God's love in human form.
And you said that Jesus was anti-capitalism. Do you believe that, or that's a joke? That's when I saw you saying it, I saw.
Well, he was anti-wealth, sir. He was anti-wealth. Capitalism didn't exist back then, so it's a bit of a joke, but he was decidedly anti-wealth, yes.
Really?
Yes.
And what is it about him that made you believe that?
When he said it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven, or the only way to be perfect and follow me is to give all your belongings and possessions away to the poor.
No, that meant that you could be as wealthy as you want, but don't put that before him.
Okay, that's not what he said.
Don't let it be. Remember
some prosperity gospel stuff.
Remember the rich young ruler? He was like, Jesus, 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 how can I follow you?
That's the guy I'm talking about.
And Jesus said, okay, you can follow me by giving up all your own, because his heart was in his money,
yes,
in his things, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus said, okay, you can give that up. You can follow me if you give that up. And
that's what all of his disciples did.
He said, no, I don't think I can do that.
But the 12 apostles did it. The 12 apostles gave it all up and followed him.
Right, because their hearts were with him,
yeah,
and not in material wealth.
Yeah.
It didn't mean you cannot have. He didn't support material wealth.
Okay, well, I'm not anti-capitalist. I'm a capitalist, but I'm a
Jesus
capitalist
wasn't
with empathy.
either. That's the point.
It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Because of the ego, because of the fallen state. You said that, so was Jesus anti-poor?
He was the opposite of that, sir.
Yeah. He said that if you don't work, you don't eat.
He did not say that, sir.
He did say that.
He never said that,
he
sir.
He said that.
No, sir, he did not say it.
If you don't work, you don't eat. What did he say about that?
You are misquoting Paul's letter to the Thessalonians.
What did he say about that?
He didn't say it. You're quoting Paul.
What did he say about it?
That's Paul's letter to the Thessalonians, not Jesus.
Was Paul inspired by him?
He says he was, but Paul did not say if you don't work, you don't eat. Do you want me to tell you what Paul said?
What did he say?
He was talking about the Thessalonians who believed the end was coming and it stopped working, and he was saying, you, in the past tense to the Thessalonians, did not pay the ones, you did not give food to the ones who didn't work, and many of them had stopped work because they thought the kingdom of God was at hand. It's often misquoted. Jesus didn't say it. It's Paul's letter to the Thessalonians.
So let me ask. So do you believe?
Do you get what I'm saying? Jesus didn't say it?
I hear what you said. I'm gonna come back to it in a minute, but
okay.
Do you believe Paul was inspired by God?
I don't know. Paul writes very movingly in many ways about love and the virtues of love, and Paul was pretty misogynist and really hated women. He was. He was. And Paul had some real hang-ups. Because Paul had a lot of hang-ups.
Do your parents know you think this way?
Yes, sir. My parents are no longer with us, but they did know I thought this way. And my parents were not Paulists, they were Christians.
Were you thinking this way prior to their death?
Yes, sir.
And they knew it?
My parents were pleased at my scholarship of Scripture and that I knew what I was talking about.
Really?
Indeed.
Were you an only child?
I was not.
Oh.
I have two younger brothers.
You say Jesus was anti-death penalty.
Completely, sir. And
why do you say that?
Do you want me to run through all the verses?
No, just because of time. Just give me one example of him.
Okay, let's say he wasn't anti-death penalty. He just thought only people who have never sinned should be allowed to carry them out. Would you agree?
Let he without sin throw the first stone?
Yes, sir.
So you're saying he was for it, but if you were a sinner, you didn't have a right to stone someone else.
He also said...
You might have a point there, I don't know.
How do you
I've never heard
forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us? Right. How do you read, if someone hits you, turn the other cheek? How do you read, forgive those who wrong you 70 times 7?
Let me tell you how. Good question. He meant if someone hit you, don't hate them, because you become like what you hate. So don't hate. You can defend yourself, but don't be angry.
Yeah, but
that's all he meant by it.
Not big on killing the sinner. He doesn't need to stand
there and let someone beat you up.
And I'll also remind you, in the book of Genesis, God puts a mark on Cain after he kills his brother to protect him, the first ever murderer, and God gave him a pardon.
Because God forgives.
Right on.
But let me ask you this, and I want to get into all that, but I don't have time. I got my little sign. We don't have my sign. You say that Jesus was never. You also
Anti-gay.
said Jesus was never anti-gay.
Never.
And where's your proof of that?
Where's your proof he was?
No. I have my proof. I want to hear it because I'm watching this video. I'm like, wow, this nice guy said it, but I didn't know if it was a joke or not.
I'm wondering if you're going to use Matthew 19 to say he was anti-gay, but he was never once anti-gay.
What did Matthew 19 say?
That's where he says male and female he made them, when he's giving the rules for marriage.
Right.
But he also says in Matthew 19 that there's 3 types of people who won't be getting married. He uses the umbrella term eunuch.
But
those
we don't
who were
want to
born
do the
eunuchs,
also.
those
Let's
who
just
become
deal with the gay stuff.
Right. Well, I'm getting to that.
He
says,
wasn't for that.
Those who were born eunuchs, those who were made eunuchs by men, and those who make themselves eunuchs for the greater glory of God. Meaning, those born not into marrying women, those castrated, so they're not going to marry women, and those who become celibate, religious, so they're not going to marry women.
But where was he?
Matthew 19.
Was he for homosexuality?
He never condemned it, and he never said it was fabulous.
When he said that he abhorred homosexuality,
He did not abhor homosexuality.
what did he mean by that?
He never said that.
When he said it, what did he mean by that?
He never says that in the gospel, sir.
What does he say about that? What
are you saying? When did Jesus say he
didn't agree
abhorred
with that?
homosexuality? It's not in the gospels.
Amazing.
No, it's not in the gospel, sir. He never said it.
Do you believe that Jesus support premarital sex?
He never condemns it outright.
You say he's for that?
He never condemns it outright. I think he's for treating women and yourself with respect.
So because you don't believe he's spoke against it, are you saying you believe he was okay with it?
I'm saying if Christians devote a lot of attention to criticizing and smearing something that Jesus never mentioned, I don't see how they can call the action Christian.
So do you believe that because he didn't mention it, that meant he was for that?
Nope. I'm just saying he never condemned it, so I don't see why Christians do.
Would you have sex out of wedlock?
Would I have sex out of wedlock? It depends on how drunk you get me. What do you have in mind, sir?
If you're not drunk, would you do it?
Well, I'm in wedlock right now, but if I wanted to and it was consensual, yes, I would not have a problem with that. And
you would not have a problem with it?
with sex out of marriage,
Right.
sex out of marriage.
Right.
You got a funny way of being a Trump supporter.
What do you mean?
Would you condemn Donald Trump for sex out of marriage?
Sex out of marriage is wrong.
So
It
would
should
you
never
condemn
happen.
Donald Trump for doing
I
it?
wouldn't condemn him, but I would not agree with it.
Okay.
So
I don't think you should cheat on your wife
If you
or
were-
your husband. I don't think people should
no,
cheat
that's
on
not what I asked. If you,
I'm agreeing with you about Trump.
No, do you believe that it's okay to have sex out of wedlock?
It's really interesting that you find that a problem and yet you support Donald Trump.
You're not answering the question.
Would I be okay with people having sex out of wedlock? As
Yeah.
long as no one's being hurt or exploited, it's none of my business.
And so if you are not drunk or high, would you have sex out of wedlock?
If I liked the person and they liked me and it was consensual and no one was being hurt or exploited, then yes,
Are
consenting.
you okay with making babies out of wedlock?
Do you think people should be incarcerated for it?
No, you're not supposed to answer a question with a
Am I okay with it? I think it's better for a child to grow up in a home with loving parents, but we live in a free society and we haven't legislated that.
Really? And so how about self-control? Should we have self-control so
Yes.
that we don't do that?
We should have self-control so we don't do a lot of things that would hurt us.
How about making a baby out of wedlock?
I am not eminent enough to condemn people who do it. I do find it strange when people who condemn abortion also condemn having the baby.
Is it right to have babies out of wedlock?
Is it right to have babies out of wedlock?
Yes.
It's not. I don't have any qualification to pass judgment on that, sir.
Do you know right from wrong?
I think we all do, yes.
how
And
about
I
you?
don't get to judge people who have babies out of wedlock.
How about you? You know right from wrong?
I like to think I do, yes.
So is it right to have babies out of wedlock?
It's not right to judge people who do it.
That's not what I'm asking.
I don't
Is
get
it-
to.
I'm not
I'm
asking.
not going to
is it
judge
right
someone.
To judge
I'm not going to
people
judge
doing-
someone who has
I'm
a baby
asking
out of
you your
wedlock.
personal opinion.
If a woman's pregnant and the guy takes off, what should she do, sir? Terminate it or have it? What would you have a woman
I'm
do?
asking your personal opinion. Is it right to make babies
I think
out
you're
of?
looking for respectfully, I think you're looking for a virtuous argument for a mean judgment.
You're my guest, and you're so smart. I watch your videos. I want to
I'm
know.
happy to meet you too.
Yeah, me too.
You're very nice.
I am. Well, I'm not nice.
Well, you've been nice to me.
Yeah.
But is it right to have babies out of wedlock?
It's not right to judge people who do.
I didn't ask about judging people.
Well, I don't get to say that. I don't have the eminence to condemn
Would
people.
you make a baby out of wedlock?
Would I?
Yes.
I'm married. I've made a
If
baby
you
within
were
a wedlock.
not married, would you make one out of
If I
wedlock?
wanted to, I would. I live in a free society.
And would you?
If I wanted to, I would.
Why would you do it though?
If I wanted to, I would.
You said Jesus was a long-haired.
That part
brown-skinned-
I can't confirm the long hair. That one I'll grant you. He's long-haired in paintings and like your cameraman over here. But there is no actual biblical explanation of Jesus having long hair.
And so you said Jesus had long hair, brown-skinned,
According to Revelation, he had brown skin.
homeless,
Yes,
Middle Eastern Jew.
indeed.
And where you get that image from?
Well, he lived in the Middle East, he was Jewish, and he didn't have a home. He left and went on a ministry, and he and his apostles were subject to the kindness and generosity of those who hosted them.
How do you know that he was brown-skinned?
In the book of Revelation,
It said he was brown-skinned.
it says his feet were the color of burned brass, his hair was like wool.
He could have had a good tan. Have you
Again, that's
gone
book of
to the
Revelation.
beach?
That's the book of Revelation.
You should see my Jesus over there when you go to the beach.
I've been to the beach, my
He
hair
doesn't look like
I've been
that.
to the beach, my hair never became like wool.
A lot of black people think, oh, I'm so out of time. A lot of black people think he looked like black Americans.
I think he looked like a Middle Eastern man. I don't think he was
folks-
white or black. I think he looked like a Middle Eastern Jew of the first century.
Oh, okay.
Go to Israel and see how they look.
If Jesus walked the earth today, would he be a social justice warrior?
Indeed.
And why?
And
did-
he'd be crucified too.
Really?
Yeah.
And-
I think if Jesus walked the earth today, he would be fighting for the least of us because that's what he did and that was his consistent message through the Beatitudes and through Matthew 25.
Do you agree with abortion?
Do I agree with it?
Yeah.
I don't want to incarcerate women who do it.
But you're not answering my question. Are you personally okay with women having abortions?
See, it's a weird question because I don't think I have the right, or anyone with a penis has a right, to tell a woman what to do. The Bible is not anti-abortion, and if you look at the book of Numbers, God gives Moses very specific and gruesome abortion tips for wives who are pregnant by other men.
Do you personally disagree with abortion?
I personally disagree with incarcerating women for doing it.
One last time. Do you personally disagree with abortion?
I am not morally qualified to condemn someone who has to make that choice, and I don't think men have the right.
You mentioned men and penis. So if you
They go together.
If you make a baby, and this woman you make this baby with decided for whatever reason, I'm not going to have this baby, I'm going to kill it. You don't have any say so about that?
I think a man does have say-so, and a man has a right to sue that woman, and a man has a right to sue for redress of grievances, yeah.
So a man with a penis should say something about it, have an opinion of abortion, right?
Ultimately, it rests with the woman, but a man has a right to try to make her carry the baby to term. I don't think he should, but he has the right.
Women who are killing children within their womb, they're lost mentally and emotionally.
That's an opinion.
They would appreciate a wise man telling them and waking them up and informing
Yeah,
them.
they'd appreciate a
as
job
to-
and a living wage and a man who
as-
doesn't run away.
as
They'd
to
appreciate a
what-
husband who stands by their side.
As to what they're doing is being wrong, that they're wrong for what they're doing, there's another way. And so men should be involved in it because these women are clearly lost.
I respect any woman's choice because I don't get to judge it, and I don't believe the Bible can be used against abortion. If you believe in the Great Flood, God drowned every pregnant woman and her fetus on the same day.
Define judgment for me. You use that word a lot when you say we don't have a right to judge.
To condemn others.
Define judge.
To condemn others. And in the
So-
case of abortion, here's my deal. It's always been around. It'll always be around. And we don't have an abortion problem in this country. We have an unwanted pregnancy problem and an abortion
It
symptom.
wouldn't be around if men were men.
I agree with you on that completely. But both political parties make a lot of money off abortion and make a lot of votes off abortion. Both political parties.
Right.
So it's not going to change. They're going to keep us fighting our entire
But
life.
they're
And our
not to
grandkids will be
blame.
fighting over this
They're
too.
not to blame for individuals having abortion because
No,
you're responsible for your own
but
actions
it's not going to solve.
as an adult.
Right, but what I'm saying is our grandkids will be fighting over this too. It's never going away. It's a racket
But-
both parties use to raise money and votes.
It would go away once men
return to their natural state of
I
being.
would love to see abortions end because
Yeah.
every child brought into this world is wanted and loved. That is my dream, and I'm sure we share that dream. Again, I think we have an unwanted pregnancy problem, and I would love to see all the conservatives and progressives get together and say, what can we do as a culture
How about
to
if
reduce
women-
unwanted pregnancies? Because you ban abortion,
We could
you're
solve
going to
this
see a
problem.
million new Dr. Kermit Gosnell butcher clinics
I
open
know,
up.
what a terrible man. But
But
what?
there's going to be more of that if you overturn Roe v. Wade.
Well, it's easier than that. All we have to do is get those women who believe in abortions and who hate men to return to God.
If they hated men, they wouldn't be needing abortions.
Develop
Sir.
a sense of character.
If they hated
And
men,
then
they wouldn't be pregnant.
Once they become moral women, they wouldn't have to have abortion.
Yeah, I know lots of women who've terminated pregnancies and they're very moral.
No.
Yes, sir?
No.
I'll introduce
I
you.
guarantee you don't.
I can guarantee you
I
yes.
guarantee you don't.
I can guarantee you yes, and I don't get to judge them either.